Hi everyone, it's Mari here from Mari Clark Creations. Thank you so much for joining me here today on my channel. I'm going to be working with a brand new stamp set from the My Favorite Things February release, but I'm going to show you all of the new February release items that I have, including this sweet little set called Happiness Comes in Very Small Packages. Just absolutely adorable, including sentiments like congrats mama, congrats dad, happiness comes in very small packages. You can see those sweet little stamps that spell out baby. There's a coordinating die set. Absolutely love that. Then I'm going to show you here this little set that's called Greatest Present by Stacy Yakala. This is so sweet. The sentiments are the greatest present in your present is your presence in my life. Happy birthday to my tweetest friend. And then all of the adorable little images that are typical of Stacy's designs. Then we have Monkey Around, which is so sweet. This Monkey Around set is just all of these sweet little monkeys in various different types of images. Here we've got the sentiments, birthdays are the best reason to monkey around. No one has more appeal than you do. For you, it's your day to monkey around. So go bananas, and happy birthday, little monkey. I love that little stamp that has the two monkeys attached to create that little banner. And of course, the coordinating dies for all of these different sets. Headed for the Stars is another really sweet set here. You can just see the sweet little hot air balloon, the hippopotamus, the elephant, the lion, the alligator, some clouds, really sweet. You're headed for the stars. You make the unreachable seem impossible. You make loving you a breeze and wishing you a sky full of stars. So sweet. And then of course the coordinating die set. This set is called You Make Moo So Happy. I'm going to be using this set today for my card. Love all of these sweet little Highland cows. They are so adorable. There's a little fence, a little cow being carried by a balloon and some florals and clouds, and then a ton of sentiments that are just adorable, like there's no one I'd rather sit and do nothing with than you. So super sweet. Love all of these sets so much. Now I'm starting off here. I'm going to stamp out my different images onto some Nina 80-pound solar white cardstock in my mini Misty. I'm going to just go ahead and place the different stamps onto the paper that I know that I want to stamp out here to start with. And I'm going to stamp these out with Memento Tuxedo black ink because I am going to be doing a little bit of Copic coloring. You could do Copic or alcohol ink coloring with any alcohol markers that you have in your collection. I am going to be using Copics today, but I also love to use the Spectrum Noir tri blends, and I have Ohuhu markers, just whatever markers you have in your stash that you like to color with. You could also color these images easily with your colored pencils, or you could watercolor them so nicely. All of the different mediums that you love to color with could be used on these sweet little images in any of these different sets that I showed you today. So I've got those stamped out. Now for the fence, what I did was I actually used the die to die cut out the fence. And that just creates this kind of like a little aperture opening here. I'm going to fit the stamp set into that opening just so that I can really line this up easily. And then I'll just go ahead and put that die cut fence piece back in that opening. And in that way, I'm going to get a much more precision stamping than I would without doing it this way here. So I'm going to get that Memento Tuxedo black ink there on the stamp and get that all stamped out. And now I'm going to start my coloring. Now for most instances here, I believe I show you the different colors I'm using with the caps on my desk there. Now, I am not a professional colorist. I like to do just really simple and easy coloring. This is sped up. You will see that I am going in here with the lightest color, the E70, I believe it is. And I am just going to lay down just kind of like the lightest color on the entire image. And I'm just going to go over all of that here. And then I'll go in with the next darker color. And I'm going to lay down some shadows here. So I'm just going to go in and try to create the impression, obviously, that piece of wood that's holding the fence posts together is behind the posts. And so I'm just going to create that little bit of darker color on the edges, just kind of behind the posts to create that sense of depth and just creating that shadow in that way. So once I've got that medium color or the middle shadow color down, I'm going to go in with an even darker color and just go right up against the line to create just that tiny little bit of extra shading in behind there. And that's just going to really help us create some dimension on these stamped images. I'm going in with that darker color and just doing tiny little touches on those nails or screws that are holding the fence together. And now I'll just go in again with the lighter color and just kind of blend out the shading a little bit, and just to finish things up. And then again with the lightest color, just to do a final blend on those boards in between. So really simple coloring and easy to do. I'm going to use a combination of E30s to color in this sweet little cow. I am starting off here with my shadows, and I'm going to just go in with one of the darker colors to create some little shadow areas here on this sweet little image. Oh my gosh, these Highland cows are just the cutest. I love them so much. They're definitely a must-have. So adorable for sweet little cards. Love this so much. So again, just going in, trying to create those little shadow areas with that darker color. Now I'll come in with the medium tone. This one is E35, and I'll just go in and just kind of blend out those darker shadow areas that I've already created. And now I'm going to go in with the next lighter color here, the E33, and I'll blend out into those open areas. And in that way, we have just some really, really simple basic coloring here, creating that little bit of shadow and then the lighter areas on this sweet little cow. So just going to finish that up there. And as I said earlier, this is Nina Classic Crest, I believe, 80-pound solar white cardstock. So, and you can just use whatever cardstock that you normally use for your coloring. So just going in and putting in some of the darkest here in the areas that I want to be the darkest on this sweet little cow, including the little nostrils on that snout part of the front of the cow. Now I'm going in with an E41 just to do the lightest areas there. I want I guess, is this a muzzle on a cow? I'm not really sure, but the very front part there where the mouth is the lightest. And then, of course, that little shaggy furry part of the little tussle on the top of the head is going to be that lightest. And then going in with a little bit of the darker just to create some little shadows in those areas. And I love the Highland cow is just the cutest. Oh my gosh, such a cute little design. So sweet. So now just going in and darkening up some of these shadow areas again with a darker color. And now I'll just add in some pinks on the mouth and the inner part of the ear. And I come back later and add a little pink highlight to the cheeks of the cow as well. Really, really simple for the clouds. I'm just going in with, I believe this is maybe a C2, and just adding a little bit of a shadow on the bottom edge of the clouds. So really simple, and that's all I'm going to do for those. And I believe I did add some of that same C2 to the horns of the cow as well. And I'm just kind of trying out some of my different pinks to decide what I want for my petals here. And I'm just going to quickly go in and lay down the base color for those, and then go in with a darker pink to add a little bit of shading. I do like to try to color in, stay and do like the whole area of one image. So for the flower, for example, I do like to try to finish up that whole flower before I go on to the next image, for example. So you'll see that in all of the coloring that I do on my channel here. I like to finish up one image while that ink is still nice and wet and will blend nicely on my cardstock. So I did go in with a shadow of the medium pink, and now I'm going in with the darkest pink just to add a tiny little bit more. Now I'm going in with a yellow for the center. I'll top that off with a little bit of a shadow of orange. I'll blend those out together a little bit, and that'll finish off the center of that sweet little flower. And for the stem, I'm just going to use 3 different colors of green here to finish that area off. I love that the Copics have such a really great, nice little fine tip on them. Really perfect for coloring in tiny little areas like this. And I'll go in with that darkest green just to add in a little bit of shading. Now I've used all of the coordinating dies from the set to die cut everything out. They die cut beautifully and just create really just a really nice thin little white border, which I appreciate. This is a vault release. This is a really great die set. This is the stitched mini scallop circles. I love that. I've had that in my stash since it was originally released, but now you can get this again. So I highly recommend grabbing this. It's a really great die set. It's stitched as well. And then these are my classic stitched rectangle stacks from My Favorite Things. I've had those in my stash for a long time as well. And so now I've got those pieces die cut out. I'm also going to be using this cloud stencil. I'm not sure if this is still available, but I will link up to a variation of all of the different products that I've used here today in my video in the description box below. So I'm using some tumbled glass oxide ink to add some clouds to my background here. And I'm just going to twist and turn that just to create this sweet little bit of cloud impression on my white cardstock. Just going in darker right up against the stencil, ensuring that there's a little bit of white space between the stenciling so that we can see the nice white fluffy clouds. And then I'm just going to go in below the cloud area and just create a little bit of blue sky. And most of this isn't going to show because the scallop is going to go over top, the scallop circle, but just to create that little impression of a background. Now I'm just going over the top of the top portion of the scallop circle with the tumbled glass, probably about the top 2/3. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of Shabby Shutters oxide ink to create the grass in the lower area. So I just want to create a little impression of grass and sky on this scallop circle piece. Now I'm going to go ahead and stamp out my sentiment with the You Make Moo So Happy sentiment from the stamp set. And I'm just using my Memento Tuxedo black ink again, just to stamp this out. You could use whatever black ink that you have. Just whatever you like to stamp a sentiment with. Once I've got that all done, that's going to complete that panel. I'm going to go ahead and just use my glue press here to glue that onto an A2 size top folding white card base. I'll just turn that over and give it a really nice press so that it's nicely adhered. And I have popped up that scallop circle on some foam adhesive. And now I'm just going to go ahead and place that just over top of the sentiment. I have popped up the clouds on little foam squares as well. And I'm going to add those in a couple of places. And next I'm going to go ahead and just take my craft knife and I'm just going to create a little opening just in between the little hooves of the cow. And I'm going to add that little flower in between there so that it looks like the sweet little cow is holding the flower. And now I'm just going to go ahead and take the fence and I'm going to start to assemble the rest of the card here. I'm going to just move that down a little bit, I think, and just make that look like it is just in the grass, kind of like slightly behind the cow and a little bit away from the cow. And then I'll go ahead and add a little bit of foam adhesive onto this sweet little Highland critter and get that added on to my card in front of the fence. So really love this sweet little card. Oh my gosh, this stamp set is the best. If you haven't checked out all of the inspiration at My Favorite Things today, make sure that you do so. There's lots of the team members who are posting their projects and lots of others who will be posting inspiration today as well. So I'm just going to go over with my clear sparkle pen here and add some sparkle and shine to different areas on this sweet little cow. Now I'm just going to go in with a little bit of pink marker because I realized I forgot to add some cheeks to my sweet little cow. So I'm just going to add that in and then again go back to my sparkle pen and add a little bit of sparkle and shine just to a few different areas just to make the card kind of come alive even a little bit more. I'm going to take some diamond stickles and add those into a few places also. That's going to add just a little bit more interest, sparkle, and shine to this sweet little imagery here on the card. Adding a little bit of white gel pen for a highlight to the little cheeks and the eyes, and also a few little highlights to the flower, the fence area, a few different areas on the cow as well, just to add, again, just that little bit of interest and highlighting to the different little areas. So once I'm all finished with that, I'm almost finished here with this card. Friends, I did link up in the description box below to all of the different products that I've used today. I hope you enjoyed and were inspired. Make sure you check out the entire release of all of the My Favorite Things products today over at the My Favorite Things shop. Have an amazing day, friends, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.